How does Italy see its role or place in the EU, and especially now after the European elections?
The organization can be as effective and close to the different people of the Union if it adapts to time. So that's why we moved from the original 6 to the current 28, 7, let's say 7, because now it's clear. And this process will continue, like now the discussion on the enlargement to the Balkans, which is very dear to you and to us as well, because it's a region very close to our country. We use these many challenges. There are many problems. We can call them challenges, but when there is a problem, there is a solution, and the solution should be found by our leaders. The parliament was elected. We will have a new commission. It's a new start. It doesn't mean that it has to be the way it is now. It doesn't mean that it has to change completely. It means that the EU should continue its adaptation to the time and to what happens. Financial things are changing, commercial things are changing, political families are changing. Being among the founding countries, we have seen many things in these 2 years. I think there will be many more years to come. I'm very optimistic about this. But of course, there are things that we have to solve together. I've been working in Brussels, so I know how it works. It's very important to build a certain agreement, a certain consensus. We know for every problem. I mean, we have migration, for example, which is now... And there are, where there is a goodwill, there is a way.
So what should be the role of Italy in this process of adaptation of the EU?
Our role is always to try to be, in the way of building and not taking away pieces. How this should be done, that's a different issue, because of course there are different opinions and there are different approaches to the problems. I must say that there is also, for example, a due budget to be approved. So there are many occasions where there are different national interests that will need to be balanced. It's easier said than done in this case. We have a long story, not only in the EU, but in general, of a country who try to find always a compromise. But of course, the level of compromise is the point of all this. So it's difficult. I know that there is a lot of attention also on our side on this, and everybody has to do his own part. I think there are no teachers and there are no students in the EU. It doesn't matter if you are, the first or the last. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a union.
Are you optimistic that a compromise could be found?
I'm optimistic, but it doesn't mean that it will be easy. I'm optimistic because being a statistician, we have, the history behind us, and we always found a way. In diplomacy, we say a compromise is something which makes everybody equally unhappy. So we have to accept this.